Greetings and welcome to The End last week, this week, and next week, the podcast companion to The End, the website and the newsletter that shines a light back on audio fiction shows after they've reached the finale of a season or the conclusion of the series. I'm your host and the curator of The End, Evo Terra. Let's get into it, shall we?
Last week.
The most recent issue of The End, the 60th, highlighted 8 shows in either the complete series or season finales section, and 2 of them wrapped in the last few days. Professionally Possessed, a dramatized horror anthology from Christine Mendiola and Goose Thunder Podcasting Network, posted the season 1 finale on October the 26th. There are 10 episodes in this first season. You'll need about 6 hours to listen to the show, a show with a focus on female, trans, and non-binary characters. London After Midnight, a dramatized gothic horror crime thriller from Jack Bowman of Audio Marvels, Lance Roger Axt of Pocket Universe Productions, Kenton Hall of Monkey Basket Entertainment, and Fable and Folly, is complete as of October the 25th. There's only a single episode of this show, and it'll take you about 56 minutes to listen. Be sure to listen to the end of the audio file to hear trailers or snippets for these shows.
This week.
With every issue, I make 2 recommendations for great audio fiction I personally love. As with all things in life, your mileage may vary. My first recommendation is Deviser, a dramatized horror show from Harlan Guthrie. Yes, I've featured this show before, and am doing so again because this short, gripping story was one of the best I've heard all year. Now, I'm a huge fan of being thrown into the story without any exposition, and this tale does that splendidly. Here's the trailer.
This is Sun, currently acting as skeleton crew on the Fido, long-distance transport vessel. As far as I'm aware, all 4,000 passengers in Deep Cry are still currently in stasis with nothing of concern. Dad?
Affirmative. In an unknowable future. 286.
286. I would have remembered that. But thank you, Dad.
Humanity will face its greatest threat.
I'm sick of remaining calm. Someone is on this ship.
Not one that comes from the stars.
Barry, why is it so cold over here?
But from within.
What is in there?
Deviser, a horror audio drama, releases all 7 episodes on May 1st.
What on this ship can't you do? What can't you fix? Hell, you are the ship.
Find it wherever you listen to podcasts.
I need to say, what is the worst case scenario?
Oh, well, I'm not entirely sure.
Deviser is a complete story with a single season, and it'll only take you about 2.5 hours to listen to all 7 disturbing episodes. My next recommendation is In the Cards, a dramatized existential romantic comedy from Kevin Henderson and Next Chapter Podcasts. It has stars from the hit podcast Dead Eyes, Guardians of the Galaxy 4, and The Walking Dead. Now, from my perspective, mystics and mediums make me sleepy, but this show is a blast. Great characters and a fun storyline, and it sounds amazing. Here's the trailer.
Our destinies are written in the stars.
Next Chapter Podcast presents In the Cards, an existential comedy about a born loser who dares to challenge the universal order.
Not a loser. Not a loser.
Starring Webby Award-winning Connor Ratliff as the ill-fated Gil.
I'm not a loser. I'm just unlucky.
Tony nominee Stephen Boyer as his pal Lex.
You're a gorgeous catastrophe, Gil.
The Walking Dead's Lila Robbins as Bella the Psychic.
This man is a train wreck.
Marvel's own Chakudi Awuji as Professor Towers.
Our lives unfold as they were destined by the universe.
And Jamie Ann Romero as Nadia the Tarot Card Reader.
Luck's a subjective thing, isn't it? When the moment is right, stop shuffling.
Written and directed by Kevin Henderson.
There's plenty of happy losers. You ever been to Comic-Con?
Subscribe, rate, and review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever you listen to podcasts.
Good things are happening, Gil. It's all in the cards.
In the Cards is a complete story with a single season. Settle in for a hilarious 4 hours as you listen to all 8 episodes.
Next week.
The latest issue of The End has 6 entries in the new season's coming soon section, and 4 of them start up again in the next few days. Season 2 of October's Children, a dramatized paranormal mystery action horror series from Jacob Mandel and Derek Vallon, starts on October the 30th. Catch up on the first season in about 4 hours. Season 2 of Hanapocalypse, a dramatized horror comedy series from Red Fathom Entertainment and Fable and Folly, starts on October the 31st. Seriously, start now on the nearly 7 hours you'll need to get caught up before that. Great show. Season 3 of Vampires of Whitechapel, a dramatized supernatural horror from Transmissions from Atlantis Entertainment, also starts on October the 30th. You'll need about 8 hours to catch up on the first 2 seasons. Season 2 of Insider World Building, a dramatized fantasy and world building and exploration from Fox Key, starts on November the 2nd. Season 1 can be enjoyed in less than 5 hours. Trailers or snippets for those shows and the shows I mentioned at the start of the episode are coming your way right after I say... And that's all for this episode of The End. Last week, this week, and next week for these and the other audio fiction shows featured, highlighted, and coming soon that were included in the 60th issue of The End, including links to listen to the shows mentioned in this episode, please visit theend.fyi. I'm Evo Terra. Thanks for listening. And here are your trailers or snippets. Professionally Possessed.
A new fantasy anthology podcast about demonic possession.
She both looked older and younger than 17. She was scarred but tiny. She spoke both playful and jaded. Every ounce of my empathy refused to let her just leave. She would die. How did you survive before? How did the demon leave you?
It didn't leave. I killed it.
You what? Everyone knew that demons could only be killed if you killed the hosts. Exorcists could move and imprison demons, but they would continue to live, which some didn't think was enough.
In the inner consciousness, the host has as much power as the demon. I ran it through with a tree trunk that grew up. You know, the details don't matter.
Victims can do that?
No, I can do that.
Helena, that's you, isn't it?
Hello, it's good to see you, everyone. And yes, Bridget, you can back off. I'm fine.
She's possessed again.
Happens more often than I've heard a harp play.
What are you two? Her lackeys?
She pays us to look after her. She's the one doing all the work, remember? The name's Bridget.
Nice axe. You're a slayer too?
Was. Don't really like the title now.
Excuse me, would you be the exorcist from Celestine?
Yes. Sorry, I must have kept you waiting. My name is Marcia.
The demons really have 2 consciousnesses?
Yep, it's not an exaggeration. That's what makes them think that they're superior to humans, except for the fact that we have bodies. So to them, the perfect being is a human body with a demon in control.
But they act crazy out here. Is it the same inside?
They are a little less monstrous and animal-like, even though some are completely in control of both. They talk and converse with their victims and really savor torturing them in their own bodies. As beings of misery, they really like having both physical and mental violence happening at the same time.
You insufferable, pompous little git! You think everyone underestimates you, but did you ever think that for once you could underestimate one of us? I know what I'm doing with the power I have. They wouldn't have buried me so deep if they didn't think I was a threat.
I want her back. Then you'll have to kill me, because only one of us is getting out of this alive.
This is why I never let my playthings speak. They're always dribbling nonsense I don't want to hear.
Ew, no! I hate clingy demons!
You should be relieved I'm not hurting you.
We both know there are different kinds of torture. And I have no doubt that even you would ramp up to violence if I gave you enough time.
We have all the time in the world.
Helena?
Yes?
Are you really her?
Don't I look like her? Don't I sound like her? What do you think?
Professionally Possessed. Listen to the first episode on August 24th. More information at professionallypossessed.carrd.co.
Professionally Possessed, a dramatized horror anthology from Christine Mendiola and Goose Thunder Podcasting Network, has reached the finale of the first season. London After Midnight.
Something has happened to Harry.
Miss Lucy, I'm so sorry. For God's sake, Fernsby!
He's dead, isn't he?
Audio Marvels, Pocket Universe Productions, and Monkey Basket Entertainment present
Williams, first thing tomorrow morning, I want you to call Scotland Yard.
The Lost Horror Classic.
New tenants for the... Sorry, ma'am,
You can say Balfour Place, Mr. Fernsby, it's all right.
Based on the classic silent film by Waldemar Young and Todd Browning, and starring Lon Chaney.
Looks like an undertaker.
It's that damned beaver hat. I've never seen him without it.
Art Malik, in a full-cast audio production of...
Lucy, this is...
Edward Bergman, Scotland Yard.
London After Midnight.
You really don't feel it, do you?
Feel what?
The air of disquiet. Like we're being watched.
Available Halloween 2023 as both an online digital audio event and as an exclusive vinyl release.
You get out of here! Damn you!
Please, try not to scream.
Oh my God, what is that?
That would appear to be his lady companion.
Flying around the room, Berg.
One way or another, this comes to an end. Tonight.
Visit www.audiomarvels.com for more information.
London After Midnight, a dramatized gothic horror crime thriller from a lot of people, has reached the end of the entire series. October's Children.
It's a very small town. Pretty sure I know everybody by sight.
In Wolfbrook, New Hampshire.
Welcome to Unhallowed Grounds.
There's not much else out here worth being scared of.
There is something outside of my house.
It's gonna come through the windshield.
What the hell happened here?
Have you noticed anything strange?
It just felt really weird. It has started again. It has started again.
And what is with all this purple goo?
Something the size of a Buick and dripping purple goo.
I remember.
I could put you in a very small concrete room, just because.
Could someone explain to me what's going on?
I thought you were something else.
Don't you mean someone else?
No.
There's no use in getting worked up over something that never happened, is there?
October's Children.
Coming September 2022.
October's Children, a dramatized paranormal mystery action horror series from Jacob Mandel and Derek Vallon, soon returns for Season 2. Hanapocalypse.
So this is the end of the world. Pretty weird, right? I'm Hannah. I'm sure you've probably noticed by now. I'm a zombie. Might even be the last one.
From the creator of Redmond Born and Cybernautica.
I can't exactly control most of the things zombie me does. I'm basically what amounts to a backseat driver in my own body. You learn to kind of just go with it after a while, I think. Like, do I feel bad for eating a family of 4 when I was new? You bet. Not exactly my favorite memory.
Hannah is living her best unlife, while unknowingly being on a crash course with Callie, an explorer desperately seeking to leave her mark on an American wasteland that seems to be all out of new discoveries.
One might say that it's the comics that got me into this, but between you and me, I'm gonna blame the McSodas. No sense in ruining everything I like in one day.
Together, this unlikely pair team up against the dangers of post-apocalyptia.
Okay. This thing is not playing around at all. Shit incoming!
Sometimes I miss the old days. Killing zombies for upstart communities, now that was a lot more simple. A lot more ethical, too. Wouldn't you say so? Don't you think it's a little more ethical to kill a zombie than just some stranger on the road?
Apocalypse, a story about love, death, and robots. Just not the Netflix kind.
Apocalypse, a dramatized horror comedy from Red Fathom Entertainment and Fable and Folly, soon returns for Season 2. Vampires of Whitechapel.
Death isn't something to be feared, my dearest. It is the warmest, most welcoming sensation anyone can experience. It's pure joy, passion, and ecstasy rolled into one. As you travel down that tunnel toward the light at the end, you feel the most amazing sensation of belonging. You are finally where you should be. A place with no pain, no horror. There's no suffering or injustice. There's just a dazzling light that seems to engulf every single atom of your essence. Enjoy your death, my friend. Bathe in the light when it comes to you. Be thankful it can come, for not all of us can go down that path. I've died. I began my trek, but the light was robbed from me. Substituted with darkness. Terrible darkness that invests you like the worst of cancers. You see, I was marked by a vampire to become his offspring, his child of the night. He brought me death, but then breathed in an entirely different, terrifying life. Everything that I was and believed in, all that made Ariana Grayson, died with me when my heart stopped, and I began my journey to the place of death.
Vampires of Whitechapel, a dramatized supernatural horror series from Transmissions from Atlantis Entertainment, soon returns for Season 3. Insider world building.
The first time I used the toilet in the world of Doonery, the toilet tried to kill me. I only found out later that Ganhook, my mentor, had arranged this. He wanted to convince me that, as an unprepared visitor to Doonery, everything in Doonery would try to kill me. That's how my Doonery survival education began. Welcome to the Insider World Building Podcast, the place to experience life in another dimension, told from the perspective of a visitor to that dimension. I'm Fox Keys, that visitor is me, that dimension is called Doonery, and I have lived here since I was tricked into passing through an interdimensional gateway just after my 14th birthday. Tricked, you might wonder? Yes, of course. I was absolutely, completely, 100% conned. It's a long story. Let's just say it involves an ancient family curse, a cowardly uncle, imprisoned parents, an interdimensional gateway, of course, and countless lies from the keeper of that gateway.
Insider world building, a dramatized fantasy world building and exploration from Fox Keys, soon returns for Season 2. And that's it for the trailers or snippets. Once again, I am Evo Terra for the end. Cheers!